After reading this, I really felt like I'd run a marathon. You really put Clary and Jace through the ringer in City of Fallen Angels. In particular, I found the cliffhanger ending really
mean.
Mean, yeah, I was going to say that, but mean, torturous is another word. Is it painful for you to put your own characters through these kind of ordeals, or do you really relish kind of putting them through tough times?
I didn't think they were, I've always liked putting them through tough times from the beginning, and there's it is in there's some I'm trying to remember this great quote about writing, but something about putting your characters in the crucible, and everything that's unnecessary burns away, and with what's left of the necessary stuff is the gold, the center part of the character. I mean, it's what people do that's under pressure that lets you know who they are. So for me, it's a process that's both painful because I don't really enjoy, like inflicting pain on them, in that sense. But I do enjoy getting to know them better, and I feel like doing this stuff does kind of, you're starting to dig down into the character and really get to know, what makes them tick, what they would do under unbelievably pressurizing circumstances, and sometimes it's a bit surprising even to you, what would happen. And indeed, Clary and Jace do get put through the ringer, and it's, the cliffhanger I sort of went back and forth about. I actually I turned it in to my editor like that, the way that it is with that ending, and with a note to it saying, that I could add more. And she wrote me back and was like, no, this is the end, this is the end. This is how it has to end, like there's no other way for this book to end. Because I was like, well, I can write more, here are a couple of, like, that often ends with an epilogue, and this book doesn't end with an epilogue. And I was like, well, I have a couple epilogue ideas, and here's 1, 2, and 3. So, what do you think? And, this is the first draft, and she just wrote back, and she was like, no epilogue, the book has to end like this. Like, damn. And I was like, ooh, okay, that's pretty brutal. And she was like, yeah, I love brutal. So I'm just trying to shift the blame. But then she was punished because nobody it was a totally embargoed book. Like, nobody was allowed to read it before it came out, except her, my British editor, my Australian editor. They all got to look at it, but basically nobody got to look at it, and so nobody in Simon & Schuster got to look at it. So after the book came out, people kept coming up to her in the hallway, and like hitting her and being like, "Why did it end like that?" And she was like, "Ah." So.